This is Mark Luke Carrier welcoming you to another episode of Fakes, Frauds, and Phonies. Today, Tom Keating and his ticking time bombs. Now, there are many similarities between Tom Keating and Eric Ebern. From a previous episode, you will remember. Both were working-class Cockneys, and both rose to stations beyond the promise of their impoverished backgrounds. Born in 1917, Tom Keating served in naval intelligence, returning to post-war Britain to study at Goldsmiths College, the Croydon School of Art, and at the Camberwell School of Art. He eventually secured a position as lecturer at St. Andrew's College, London. All the while, Keating painted ceaselessly and tried to get the art world interested in his work. But gallery owners and people of influence remained indifferent. He became bitter, claiming that canons of avant-garde garbage from the United States colonized the British art business. Keating planned his revenge. He would show the art trade for what it was, a collection of tasteless, money-grubbing Philistines. Almost all forgers at one time or another have used variations on that theme as a rationale for their actions. But a forger's mission to expose the art world is often little more than lip service, a cultural fig leaf for criminal activity. Most of the time, the simple truth is that they do it for the money. But Keating was different. He left what he called time bombs in his paintings, tricks that would eventually expose the works as frauds. For example, he would scrawl messages on the gesso in lead white and then cover them with the color layer. A wary buyer submitting a suspicious Rembrandt, in fact a genuine Keating forgery, to an X-ray examination would clearly read the word fake throbbing in glowing nuclear colors. It was Keating's little joke, and he didn't seem to care when the punchline hit you. He also added anachronistic materials and slight flaws that would all point to the painting's identity, a forgery by Tom Keating. A particularly cruel trick played on the hapless owners of his forgeries was the use of glycerin below the paint layer. With his full knowledge of chemistry and restoration techniques, Keating knew that the painting would eventually need to be cleaned and that the dissolving glycerin would destroy the work. All that remained, an old master transformed into a Jackson Pollock. And Keating was quite prolific. He painted, by his own admission, some 2,000 forgeries of artists like François Boucher, Degas, Fragonard, Gainsborough, Modigliani, Renoir, Kees van Dongen, and his all-time favorite, Rembrandt. But suspicions arose when 13 watercolors by the 19th century English painter Samuel Palmer went to auction, all of them depicting scenes of the English town of Shoreham. Keating confessed that they were his forgeries, and he was arrested for conspiracy to defraud. At a press conference, declared the September 13, 1976 edition of Time magazine, a rubicund white-bearded Cockney painter and restorer named Tom Keating, 59 years of age, revealed that over the past 25 years, he had flooded the art market with anywhere from 1,000 to 3,500 simulations of the work of dead artists. Interesting word, simulations, I guess, fakes, ranging from 17th century Dutch to Constable to German expressionist. He was, Keating blithely admitted, a terrible faker. Anyone who sees my work and thinks it's genuine must be around the bend, he said. Now, Keating's ill health caused the judge to drop the charges, as there were 2 time bombs ticking away in Keating's life. One of his messages of fake to buyers of his forgeries, and the second, an illness caused by chain smoking. Many thought that Keating was not long for this world. But he took a slight turn for the better, and in 1983, he began presenting a television program, Tom Keating on Painters, on Britain's Channel 4. He also wrote the book The Fake's Progress, with co-authors Geraldine and Frank Norman. But the smoking did finally catch up with him, and he died at the relatively young age of 67 in 1984. Not long after, his known forgeries began fetching high prices. Christie's alone auctioned off 204 of them. Now, if you find yourself in a museum someday admiring a fine painting by Rembrandt, and the color begins to run all of a sudden before your very eyes, giving way to large white letters spelling out the word fake, you'll know you're in the presence of a genuine Tom Keating. Well, that's it for this episode of Fakes, Frauds, and Phonies. Please subscribe, and if you're a victim of art fraud, please write to me. My email is fakesandfrauds, all in one word, at writeme, WRITEME.com. In closing, please note that a illustrated print version of Fakes, Frauds, and Phonies is available at Amazon worldwide in Kindle or paperback format. So this is your host, Mark Luke Carrier, saying bye-bye for now.